You were want to talk about sleep paralysis, weren't you?
Aye, mate. Because you said in one, you said in, I don't know what podcast it was, you said something about lucid dreaming. You were like, oh, I was just pure, and then, but we didn't even go into it, know what I mean?
Aye.
Because I've never done it. And
Have you never ever done it?
No, it's never happened to us, or I've never tried.
Have you had sleep paralysis or?
No.
No?
Mate, I sleep like mad, mate. Like, I sleep through, now the loudest alarms on your iPhone that are pure, and you're hearing that, mate. I sleep through them, like,
oh my
sleep
God.
through cunts try to wake us up and that, mate.
Sounds like a sort of health issue, mate.
I think it is, mate.
Something's not right.
No, not actually, it's my mad blood shit.
Oh, is that it? Like, it makes you
like,
sleepy
it
and
gets,
that?
like, fatigue and all that, do you know what I mean? Like, mad.
Good excuse anyway, innit?
To be lazy.
Nah, I'm really joking, mate.
So I've never been able, at that heightened level of sleep, know what I mean? I'm always pure deep. I hardly dream in that, because, like, you only dream in, like, REM sleep or something. I'm always pure deep sleeping, do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, really?
Bro. Aye. Like, see, and
do you
always,
always,
on your Apple Watch and that, and it tells you, it's like, mate, mine's just like a minute of shallow sleep and then like 7 hours of deep sleep.
Really?
It's mad, mate, aye.
So do you always just feel brilliant?
No.
No?
No, I never feel bad, mate. Like, I never know what it's like when cunts are pure, like,
Shattered.
like proper shattered, because I'm heavy, like, well rested, do you know what I mean?
Aye, that's mad, mate. I wish I was like that.
But aye, so you're the like complete opposite. You got a mad thin layer.
Aye, mate. Well, no, I think it was obviously because I've been out all weekend and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So I was coming in, Eckies and it, obviously usual gear, bro. And then I would come in, try and sleep, and then it was usually like the night after. Like, it would be like, say I was out on Friday, Saturday, like Friday, Saturday would be fine. It'll be like Sunday, because it's still a bit pure, no right. And then I remember I would always just be like sleeping. And then, yeah, because like, I think my mind would always be gone. So I would always be like, and then I would be like, wait, am I sleeping now? And I would try and move my body, mate, and you can't move anything. Aye. You can't move like a muscle in your body. You're just like sitting with your eyes shut, and you're trying your hardest to move all your body, and no limbs are moving, nothing. So, but
it's just scary. Mate, do you know what? I think I had this when I was a wee boy, and it was like my colours were pure heavy, and there was shit coming in and taking stuff.
You will have had, like, mate, you will have probably had something at some point.
Aye.
But what I'm saying is, when it was happening to me, right, I would be like talking and saying, oh, like, am I sleeping yet? Blah blah blah. And then I met a boy who I worked in Top Man with, and he was telling me about it, and he was like, I had to go to therapy and that for it. Like, it was that bad. Like, but he was obviously on it all the time at that time as well. So he was like that. They've told me the first thing you need to do is try and like wiggle your toes. Like, that's that. Then it wakes all your body up. Like, that's the first thing you'll be able to move.
It's like maybe a mad like nerve thing.
Aye, and but you have no concept. You have no concept of like time. Like, you have no concept of like, how long have I been lying like this? You're just like you're like screaming in your head and that, like trying to like wake yourself up, and then all of a sudden you just keep trying to move it, and then your body just wakes up. It's such a weird feeling. It's mad
that it's such a physical thing for something that's so in your brain. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing physical happening to you, and you're paralysed, mate. That's mad.
Aye, it's just like a mad flaw in a wee glitch, like your body's sleeping, but your brain isn't asleep, which but I think that's my issue. That's why I can never. And then, but sometimes it's like decent. Like, I remember one time I done it, but I could feel like my body. I felt like I was lying down on my side, and I felt myself going up above myself, and I remember like looking down on myself, and I could see myself like lying in the bed and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the exact position that I was in. So I like floated up, and I could see it, and then I remember I was like, fuck, I can actually like move about, and I remember like flying up to the corners of my room and that, and like being like, what the fuck? And then my window was open, right? And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go outside, and I went outside out the window, up in the air, right? And I looked down, I was away up in the air, and I was like floating. I remember looking down, and my house was like floating, and it was in the middle of an ocean with nothing else around it, mate. It was just floating in the ocean like that. Mate. Just my house, just sitting there, and then
is it pure psychedelic feeling? Or is it like,
it's like insane.
Is it like,
see, do you think that was like astral projection, or do you think your mind made it up? Do you think like you went into like a spirit realm?
Aye, that's what I'm saying. Like,
brain made it.
Is it like,
I don't know, man.
Because that's one of the things. It could be a mad mental glitch, or it could be like a spiritual. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
like kind of journey thing.
It was very weird, mate. It was like, it's like, I don't know how my brain managed to like project into my head that like I was looking down on myself, and it looked exactly like what, like, because see to picture something, you usually need to see, like, I don't know, like, how can my brain just create that?
Way,
so, and then I'm flying about my room, and then I go out and then it's in the ocean. It's just like how can my brain just put, like, because it obviously could be a dream. It's just a dream, but
about that thing.
It's like a dream that you're conscious in. So like your dream doesn't start in, I'm in Spain, right, and a mad cunt come up. It's no like that. It's like your dream starts where like you like wake up at your body and you're like, in your room, and then you create a dream that happens, but you're aware of it, and you're like I'm gonna go out here.
Like that happens, but you just forget every time.
I get what you mean.
Whoa, you're like, every time I'm like, no way.
But then it's just gone, mate.
Aye, because it's like it's weird with dreams, man. It's heavy interesting, like how you remember them pure immediately. Like I had a dream like 2 nights ago that the police stopped my motor and fucking breathalyzed me and that, and it was air the limit, and I was like, what the fuck, and I got to jail, mate, and it felt so real, mate. And I remember just waking up and just being like, what the fuck, man? Like it's mad the effect it has on you. Aye. And none of it makes sense.
Because that's like beyond your like it's conscious, that's like in your unconscious mind. So it's like shit
you can't rationalise it.
Aye. In your like awake state, you know what I mean?
I know, mate.
Or like just no dream state. That's fucking mental, bro.
It's mental, bro. But first Patreon episode, mate.
I know.
The real G's.
The absolute top dogs.
The real shooters.
Mate, see the YouTube watchers.
Listen, honestly, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it, but there's a portion of people out there that aren't in here yet.
Idiots.
Can you imagine that? Insanity.
The real trips.
Think about what we can do in here. The possibilities are endless, mate. Really are endless.
Sleep paralysis podcast.
Mate, I'm thinking of starting. I didn't tell you about this, right? Honestly, I'm thinking about. What do you think about starting a cult?
Mate, I'd be right up for that.
I think we should get it in the go. A real good cult.
Could I be a pope or something?
What kind of? This is what I don't know about the Pope. Like, what kind of power do you hold? Like, are you just a mad figure, or do you?
What do you
I had like that. I was not how like the NFT people that are like getting in the ground floor and that.
Right.
Like I was there. Know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Like you.
I've got no like.
But why the Pope? Like.
No, just the what do you call it? Like imaginary. Like the Pope that the Pope that our cult believes in. No, the mad.
Right,
old
so
man.
You are the Pope of the group?
Aye.
Right,
so like, the tap, but just...
But like, what, do you get to make any sort of decisions or laws or anything like that?
Look better than everybody else.
So you're like...
Is that a bit religion here? You make your own like kind of...
Aye, religious
ceremonies,
cult.
Ceremony,
it's a religious cult, but it's like the gaff you worship and that.
Aye.
Maybe a bit of ancient texts and all that.
We could really open it up to it.
What's that one that was like... is it Mormons that's like... The creation, it was just a guy who just gone, this happened, and they were like prove it, and it was like pure couldn't have you seen that?
No, I don't think
South Park did one.
Aye, South Park did one. It was
South Park pure exposes shit like that, like really like what
if you did a wee bit of research you would find, but you don't.
Aye,
so like you don't realise how funny it is either, and like how stupid it is.
Aye, like they put it in a way that you can go, I get why that's like ridiculous
exactly
now, even if you didn't get it.
Aye, but
that's the South Park section done. We moved on for Simpsons. That's for YouTube.
Clip that.
That's the YouTube squares. See the other us that are just on YouTube and all.
Honestly, trips, the Patreon trips, mate. Honestly, like think about the people who are watching the first one of these.
I know that's what I'm saying. Ground floor, mate.
We need to thank the trips, man. We need to thank them, mate, for even being here. The first of many.
Mm-hmm. By the way, trips are very stoned.
Right, trips. But we're going to watch some mad shit, trips, and honestly, thanks for being here. God bless every single one of you.
Yeah.
But how good? Yes, baby. So, Jamie, we're going to today, trips. We're going to be looking into a bit of sort of just uncontacted people in the world, like
Indigenous
people who do not live like me and you, like
not necessarily worse than us. No.
But that is the question,
just
isn't it?
Different.
Is it better? Is it worse? Is it insane? What is it? I think it's pretty magical in the end.
Should we storm them all? Teach them about snout and booze.
Should we be giving ketamine to tribes that are in the jungle? Will it help Yes or no?
Their better mental health? Will it help their stamina, their sleep?
You know, like, this is the thing about this crazy world of ours, Jamie. Like, there really could be stuff. We could give them ket and it could give them wings, and we just would never have known that.
Imagine, like,
you just don't know what's in people's.
That's like that thing that's like the first guy to milk a cow. What was he up to?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Like why? How?
That's it. What I just said. It's agricultural version of the new one.
Exactly, mate. No, you're right, mate. It's pretty magical in the end of things, but
so
I think
tribes then, aye.
Tribes. We're going to be talking about a few of them, but there's something we're going to watch first, Trips, and you get to watch a bit as well. Wah 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 wah. So
wah, wah, wee, wah.
And I need to actually write out anthropologist here.
But and then point the remote down. So you can see you playing it. Man.
Anthropologist. Not a word to be typing in this position, honestly. Like,
get a voice on, man.
And mind when you press play, do that thing.
No, it's cool. I've got a better system now. I can just do that.
You're so clever.
Mate, I went to hit L twice and done I twice, mate.
It looks the same, mate.
It looks the same for here anyway, man. That is kind of... you could hit
mate,
that and
say... I know came up? Aye,
say, is your big brother in L? And just go for that. There we go. So, Troops, this is... So, we're not started yet, right? So, you've got the premium, mate. Magical.
It's
the start of the video.
Just the start.
I know, no, that's what I'm saying.
It's an advert for... Aye. It's an advert for the channel or something.
But this is like... So, to break this down, right? This is like a video of somebody coming... Like, that's caught on footage, right? Somebody making contact with a tribe that has never been in contact with the rest of society.
Well, for the first time.
For the first time, and we get to see it happening, the way they come out, the way they interact. It's very interesting. I watched this randomly one night, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was with Erin, and we were both like, what the fuck? Like, it's just mad to watch, honestly. It's so interesting, but let's go, Troops.
Over 7 billion people now inhabit our Earth. But in the remotest corners of the planet, a few men and women still live in complete isolation. Untouched by modern civilization, many of these tribes live deep in the Amazon rainforest. Very occasionally, they are caught on camera. Now something astonishing is happening. Some of these hidden tribes are emerging from the forests and terrorizing local communities.
Así estaba así tirado. Cuando yo le volteaba, todo está bañado con sangre.
There is a war in the jungle.
Estas son las huellas antiguas de ellos.
Could these be the last days of the tribes that time forgot? People who show us what we once were. This man is one of them. He takes us to the heart of their fight for survival.
He's a badass. Mate, how have they got this one? Like,
it's crazy, bro.
From deep in the rainforest on the Brazilian border with Peru, a small group of men appeared in June 2014.
Cadê eles? Caiu na água?
The moment these isolated men and women first seek to join the outside world, so-called first contact, has almost never been caught on film.
Calma pra ver direitinho com a França.
Wait, let's pause it, right? Like, look how insane that is, mate. Like, they're just emerging. They're just emerging at the jungle, mate. Like, completely naked.
Aye.
Like, it's insane, mate.
I just think the mad thing is there's been like obviously you get it, like people talk about like tribes all the time. They're like, there's still tribes, and it's like, but it's just such a mad thing because it's been so long when them not even been found, mate.
In the jungle, you know what I mean?
Happens walking through Auchinlearn and that.
I know, mate, but let's get back to it, right?
This footage, taken by a Brazilian anthropologist, went viral.
They've all got their balls out, mate. They don't have any clothes, man.
Mate, I've seen this.
The world marvelled that such people still exist, untouched, indeed, uncorrupted by our modern world. The anthropologists struggled to find a common language. They only really understood one word, shara, which means good.
What I found so fascinating, you'll see it there, is like the way, like, they're obviously, see the way we would be like good and bad, and like they've obviously got their own movements for things like that. See the way they're talking and like going pure that and shit, like that's obviously been in their culture since thousands and thousands of years ago.
And extreme version of that thing Killian Sheridan said, like in Bulgaria they do that for
mate,
years,
it's like that to like they're complete to the fucking moon, baby,
to the limit.
But it's insane. And you'll notice as well, mate, they all look like the exact same. They're obviously like inbreeding, you know what I mean, because obviously there's no a lot, there's like there'll be barely any of them, do you know what I mean? But it's mad, mate.
As the local inhabitants cower in fear, the men ransack the village. Desperate attempts are made by a team of local anthropologists to prevent them.
No! Chara. No.
Are they stealing tools?
Mate, look, the machetes and that.
No! Bota aí no chão!
The anthropologists know that the isolated tribes have no immunity to common viruses, making objects and clothing a real danger.
Aye, like smallpox and all that.
They could get eaten even if they picking that up, you know what I mean?
These first moments of contact are fraught with risk. The man in blue, Carlos Morales, one of the world's leading experts in uncontacted tribes, struggles to keep things under control. It's 9 months later. Carlos Morales, the anthropologist who attempted to keep control that day, returns on the 8-day boat journey upstream.
Mate, what a G, honestly.
He's what I can only describe as a badass.
Ainda é uma região, aqui não tem nada. Aqui, se você pegar essa direção aqui, você vai sair na Cordilheira dos Andes e não tem ninguém. 700 quilômetros aqui. Aqui só tem mato. Então, é um lugar que... O único lugar ainda que resta...
Mate, how do you end up doing that, like what he does? You know what I mean? How do your life end up in that?
Mate, I always think that must come from like rich backgrounds, letting you be able to do what you want.
Aye. Of humans living in total isolation. The men came out at Simpatia, the last inhabited outpost on this river, whose source is in the headwaters of the Amazon. It's on the northern edge of a reserve for isolated peoples, the size of Ireland, that straddles the border between Brazil and Peru.
Size of Ireland, bro.
The size of Ireland, mate.
Nasce aqui. O Juruá nasce aqui. E o Rio Madeiro, o Mar de Deus nasce aqui. É essa região que os isolados se concentraram. Mas até 1988, quando eu vim aqui para o Envira, não existia um branco nessa região, nenhum. População branco, zero. Só tinha índio isolado.
Morales arrives at Simpatia, home to a large tribal community who joined the outside world over a century ago.
E saíram bem ali, 4. 4? Só 4, rapazes. Foi bem, só que o rio agora tá cheio. Aqui era uma praia, os índios saíram ali, ó. O rio tava seco, aqui fica uma praia, você viu como é rasinho aí? Lá eles saíram na beira, ficaram falando, não sei o quê. Aí...
The men were speaking a language which relates to that of another local tribe. But that day, people barely understood each other. Their words have now been fully translated, and they reveal the group were fleeing something terrible.
Peixe. Peixe.
Aqui. A gente protege. Aqui. Nós outros, nós, para.
Não, eles vivem de outra forma, né? Eles são, sei lá, o que nós já fomos. A humanidade hoje, nessa globalização, essa maluquice toda, de repente tem um cara que mora aí no mato.
These first hours of contact were really tense, with the anthropologists constantly saying no.
Imagine, right, so you meet somebody from France that speaks no English, right? They don't know no hand signals, nothing, bro. And they've got fucking 3 metre arrows with them, mate.
Into an intricate dance of understanding
I think
and misunderstanding.
No, he'd call them dogs, but you can talk to dogs now.
What? Aye.
You can talk to a dog by going, wait, and all
That is
like
essentially
they know,
like to a lesser extent than a dog, what is happening now, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
Like,
because dogs have had millions of years of people
aye,
doing that,
true.
so they actually must
true,
kinda know
dogs
that.
could actually learn.
Like,
I don't know, because they are
mate.
humans.
That's how you
Because
can do that. You can't do that to a wolf, man.
No, but I'm saying, but they've got the human instinct to like being curious about stuff and that. Do you know what I mean? Like more than.
Aye, than a dog. Aye, you're right. Aye.
So you'd be learning more because
Dog, do you know what? This is a classic case of experience versus skill. Like when you're applying for a job and that, do you know what I mean?
You've been there for 30 years, but you've not done nothing.
But you're shite at your job. That's basically what. No offense to. I mean. But a dog's job isn't to be a human, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, so I'm saying
it's not even comparable.
Characteristics to.
Sorry to all the dogs out there.
Understanding in that.
Aye, I know. But
to want to learn what's happening, they've got that mad inbuilt curiosity.
I think they already just have it. They already know. I think it's just like shit, cause millions of years, man.
Aye, like instinct, just.
Right, let's start.
Colleagues attempted to sing back to them.
This is like a conversation in the show paying Springburn, mate.
I think that's where this
Chips
is.
and gravy.
This is where this is.
In the end, 35 men and women emerged from isolation following the encounter filmed that day on the beach. Now, 9 months later, Carlos Morales moves on to their new settlement. A 4-hour boat journey upriver from where they first The 35 are settling under the protection of the Brazilian authorities.
They're fine, they've been about for...
We are the first
They all look the
outsiders
exact same, mate.
permitted
Look
to
at them.
meet them.
No, but what I
To
mean
find
is,
out
like,
what life
why
was
did
like.
they
Get a
need
monkey
saving
or something.
intervention now if they've been alright for...
And what
Because
finally
they
drove them
keep getting chased out the junk, look.
Nine months ago, this man lived his life in complete isolation from the outside world.
Look at their hair as well, man. Great hair lines,
Yeah,
to be
strong.
He was the leader of the group that sought
He's like Jake
contact
Bugg or
in
something.
June
Aye.
2014.
Gonna sing you an old country song from the jungle. From the jungle.
With the strings all mad rusty. Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela.
No vuvuzela.
What are you hecking with? That's, you can just do that,
That's a
bro.
Didgeridoo, mate. A didgeridoo.
People get a didgeridoo between them, mate.
Aye, how'd you like to cut that hair? A rock or something?
Look at knives in that.
This rare piece of footage of a temporary encampment.
How'd you like to wanking at that? A rock or something?
How do you get cooked
That's
beans
funny.
in that rock or something? Mate, but it's mad, see, when you're talking about civilization,
Locals work
ancient
out
civilizations, no,
what's in
ancient, sorry, untouched. Like, they're different around the world, they've got different man's skill sets and that, you know what I
Aye,
mean? Like, it's
true.
not just one, like, people, you know what I mean?
Aye. It's mad, mate. Imagine you walked in and your dad was cutting his hair with a rock.
Without tools, clothing, or hammers.
2 minutes, Dave.
No, see, that's it. Mate, I have a crystal.
A big, massive rock. You'd need to phone the police on your own dad, man. What would you...
Would you phone a police before an ambulance?
There's no reasonable explanation for, like, walking in and your dad's cutting his hair with a rock.
It's a bad influence.
There's no
innit?
way he could convince me anything for that point that was an alright thing to be doing at that time.
Like, oh, it's a new craze, you know, seen it in Norway and that. They're all doing it for that pan.
That is something I would believe, to be honest, like Norway on top
To be
of things.
honest.
To be honest. Look at that.
Oh, he's got a wee pet. What's he doing, his wee pet?
Sheena and the other 34 now live under the protection of FUNAI, Brazil's Federation for Indigenous Peoples.
Are they endangered, but? No.
They'd walk about golf courses now, they can't be endangered.
Like car parks and that.
In the new home they are building on the river
It's all
bank,
Florida, innit?
they are
Everything's
encouraged to
Florida,
live
mate.
much
That's
as
what
they
you
did
need to learn in
before.
life.
Though FUNAI provides clothes, tools and medical help. The 14 men, 9 women and 12
Mate,
children
that's what she had cut her hair with that rock. Yeah, it was like all shaved in this big middle bit and then long everywhere else. Like that.
translators to communicate.
Eles ficam medo dele.
R.I.P.
Oh, that's how they cut their hair. They get a jagged come up and stuff.
Sheena came out with his wife.
R.I.P. Grandma.
That kid's eating well. Get a full gator.
They actually just live with monkeys, mate. Just...
The translators, such as Maria in the hammock, are vital to the process of transition.
Interesting that they don't eat the monkeys.
I know, you think you would, just like... What is
Maybe they're too human-like for
What
them.
is monkey meat like? Is it tender? I mean, I'm not saying that.
I want a clip of just you saying that. Monkey, what is monkey meat? Is it tender?
My new bio on Twitter, bro.
Mate, honestly, I've heard some guy saying that to lassies.
Tender? Hardly know.
Aí por isso que diz que não vai querer mais nu, não, diz que vai querer como nós tá bem, com roupa.
She's got a nice outfit on. That's like something.
That's. I don't think that's. She's no part of them.
She's pure chilling, isn't she? She know well or something.
She's like, you get to fuck off that, man. I'm lying down.
Lying on the hammock, giving out advice or something.
Look at that, mate. Look at the big sharples, bro.
So what do you think with the chopped things down with? Mate, do you know what tribes do sometimes? Like, seems to like chopping like parts of like the forest and like burning parts, like man controlled burns. Know what I mean? To like clear paths and that. Know what I mean?
Fucking hell, man.
The Sapanawa measure time in terms of the sun and the moon, but they cannot count beyond 10, making it impossible to tell their age or even how long they live.
Quando ele morre, pergunta para ele assim, quando ele morre, ele vai para onde?
No terreno lá. Ah, não, sai para do terreno.
It's like their spirit's gone into the physical world, like down the river and that. They're pure connected to the land.
That's definitely what that is.
Tem copichal lá.
A big massive fish.
The white people go to the same place.
Damn, like the city maybe, the centre of the sky, you know what I mean?
It's so mad what they think about it, innit? But then what we think's mad as well, like there's never a sensible. The most sensible thing for death is probably you die and nothing happens. There's just nothing, right? That's probably
same as before you were born.
That's like nihilistic or something like that. Like that's kind of like but like it's no a bad thing, know what I mean?
No, it's just like
because it means you appreciate when you're here.
No, I get that.
Well, in some cases.
But I think that about like religion. Like I always think about religion. Like why would I live my life a way I don't want to live it because of something that I don't know is real after the afterlife, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why would I abide by all these rules that I don't agree with
but
just to get into a place that I don't even know exists? But I'm really, I know I'm here, so why would I not just do all the shit I want to do here?
Aye, because it's not a gamble, kind of thing.
Interestingly, like Jimmy Savile, he died with his fingers crossed.
Did he?
Right, like suspicious?
They found his body and he had both his fingers crossed because he believed the big man after all that.
And he's floating about life like being a good person for like God and that, but then the shit.
That's why he gave money to all the hospitals and all that, because he was trying to like. He's
trying to get his karma up, bro.
He's trying to get that karma back rocking, man.
Back rocking.
Imagine trying to like weigh what he done it with just doing that, mate. Hopefully.
I said keezies.
Hopefully.
Mate. Keezies.
Never know. Need to be on it to win it.
You say you're going to do something and you do that behind your back and it's like kidding on, mate.
I mean, maybe it's that.
The massacre took place on the Peruvian side of the border, where control is much weaker.
Aqui você tem. Então os massacres que houveram, as mortes, foi aqui. E por isso que eles não querem mais ir para lá. Eles querem estar mais daqui, que aqui eles se sentem mais protegidos. Do lado brasileiro, até agora, que se saiba, desse lado do peruano, você sabe muito bem que Parque Nacional do Alto Puru está cheio de gente, Reserva Murunal está cheia de gente, de madeireiro, de traficante, de cocaleiro, enfim.
That's what I have you saved on my phone.
That's my rap name, innit?
Coca farmer.
I used to be a rapper, guys.
It may have been the Peruvian military, but there's no way of knowing.
Os caras bato aí tá, os caras mão alto. Os caras das terra olha. Os caras peruana tem passa ba os caras está ali tá. Os caras suri ato ju ato sai, a hori do pa a de ato ho. A do sla de su ba da hu te
You like see their clothes, right? I always find this might, I don't know if this is like borderline, I don't know what this is, right? I always find that like, see when like you see things like this, people that have got given clothes, mate, sometimes you're like, they're looking like good, like they're rocking that shit, you know what I mean? But I don't know if it's just because they've been naked for their full life and it's just like a mad glow they have, like maybe.
They've not got any, they've not got a high bar.
Like you've never seen them look, you've only seen them look worse. So it's like, because they're naked, you know, you go from having none of something to
having colours,
having some different colours against your skin and all that, and you start to bring out your eyes, start to bring out your jawline. You know what I mean? Things can happen, mate. Things can happen.
Man. When that blue Lacoste polo matches your eyes.
So that naked attraction, I mean, they start to look better.
Aye.
I know, wait, that doesn't work.
That's the complete opposite.
They stop if you can't see them.
Mate, I swear.
You should date the other way about. They start to look better.
See naked attraction, mate. I watch, like, sometimes I'll be sitting watching that, right, with Erin, and I honestly, right, I see it up to the shin, and I'm like, I would actually just turn around and go home for the shin, mate. I know, mate. I'm like, there's no way. I'll look at I'll go, no chance.
How long would it take, like, if you see the one, the shins that we're both picturing now? How long would it take for you to turn around and walk out?
Right, I think I would walk in, right, and I think like, so give me, like, say you're the woman, right, say, like, you've seen five of them, Evan. No, you say, like, you've seen five, what do you think in that?
And then I'll be the leg.
You want to be the leg and the presenter, mate? Fucking hell.
Right, you've seen 6, Evan. What about this one?
I'd say, no, like they all, I'm sure they're all lovely ladies.
Oh, you'd be polite about it?
Yeah, and then I'd just like look at them all and I'd go, I need to leave immediately. I need to get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm sure yous are all really nice people.
Mate,
I'm sure yous comfy. And I don't even want to see for the knee up, bro. I know, like, see soon. I mean, and obviously that's only some rare occasions. Sometimes I do take up, but once it's at the hip area.
That's such a weird thing to see, like, just in a mad context like that. Like,
here's a bunch of shins.
That looks
pick one, mate.
Mate, no, but see, seeing women's parts and that on telly, boys' parts and that's more mad than seeing one of them just running about independently on the flare in real life.
Aye, it almost looks like a bunch of dead bodies that have been like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like that mad magician trick where they separate the body and that. It's like, I'm here for my hole, mate. I'm not here for sort of playing these mind games. Imagine I was just like, just get them. Imagine I went on it, I was like, see all this shit, get them all up to and then I'll pick, right?
Let me take them all
no way I'm getting down to 2 and I've not even seen enough feet. Get them all up, mate.
God, I'm loving them up.
Get these shutters up.
You're right here.
I thought you were going to say a magician show. Imagine a magician show. They're going to separate our legs for the hand. Get that off!
Oh no, it's horrible.
No, like, you're just worried to put up. It's so bad, it's so honest. Don't cut.
This is horrible. Look, I came on here. Find that woman.
What videos you see on that? What is that?
Find that nice button. But anyway, better get back to it.
Building trust is complicated and can be dangerous. Over 100 Funai agents have been killed by uncontacted Indians in the past 20 years. Even Morales is lucky to be alive. 10 years ago, he took an arrow through his neck.
Siempre existe un peligro, entonces.
um certo perigo. Né? Mas normalmente sempre é depois do contato. Pelo menos as pessoas, a maioria das pessoas que morreram na FUNAI foi depois do contato. A maioria, né?
E a maioria dos casos por que foi?
Porque por confusão, os índios não sabiam distinguir quem era da FUNAI e quem não era. Antes do contato, todo branco era inimigo. E ele pode achar que você está dando presente para ele ficar relaxado para você matar. Um velho aí um dia falou, vocês não estão dando as coisas para a gente ficar bobo e depois vocês matarem a gente? Ele perguntou isso.
He's a drugger, mate. See all that shit you listen to? Nothing on this cunt, mate.
Just with bow and arrows, how?
You know what's interesting about the hair? That's the same as what the old Catholic monks had.
I know, that's all you've seen this whole thing.
The old Catholic monks, they used to have the
whole thing shaved. It's like I know what you're talking about.
Bald?
No, but it's the mad sharp. It's like this hat, mate. It's like that pure, and then the taps.
Like Amish people or something, mate.
No, that was what.
No, that's them, mate. You've been watching it. You've been fucking watching it, you know.
It must
A
be
common theme.
Spiritually,
Mate, I read a book, right? Fuck knows what it was called. It was by Joseph Campbell, and it's about like.
Tim Milton?
No.
Oh no, sorry, I think
and it's about like commonalities through like it's like universal language, universal consciousness, and all that, and it like ties things together. Like this people's like years and years ago had the same knowledge as these. But they wouldn't know that without having that shared.
Aye.
Do you know what
the
I mean?
Mad
mate?
conscious.
Like,
aye, I know, mate. Madness.
So that was mad. Just remembered that.
Is that not a thing where like goats on one side of the world do something? Have you ever heard that before? Or like fish or something? The pure.
Aye,
Like
mate,
they do the same thing or something?
salmons and that, like pure knowing where to go. I know it's like.
Mate, it's like the thing where like birds been born and then they know like about
navigation.
Aye, fucking hell.
Yeah, you ever seen that? I know, mate.
You ever seen a horse give birth?
It just kicks it away and goes
No,
out
but
see
it
after.
starts just running, man.
Aye, you'll see it a wee man.
Think about a baby. How
That's
it
what
can't even, like,
that's what I'll be doing.
Mate, see a 2-day. This is a mad fact, right? See a 2-day-old gazelle like Bambi and that. So remember how Bambi walked in that, right? It was all fucked for the first like full bit of the film till the very end. So a 2-day-old
Mate,
gazelle.
do you know I don't even think I've seen Bambi.
Oh right. So
I know what happens though.
now it's like oh, he can't walk in that.
R.I.P.
Mate, you're spoiling it. No. But oh fuck, what was I saying, mate?
But Bambi, they couldn't run that.
Aye, and then a 2-day-old gazelle is faster than a racehorse, mate, like a derby racehorse. After a day, after nobody will walk for a full day, the second day it could win.
Aye,
like
but no, I think
Cheltenham.
it can, man. But
It's
a
just
horse
itching.
walks out the womb, man.
I know, but gazelles are obviously faster, and I'm
fuck
saying
fast.
like
A gazelle,
then I'm
a
saying
2-year-old gazelle is faster
than
than
a fully grown
a peak
racehorse,
speed
aye.
racehorse.
which is mad.
That's
Aye,
sick.
it's a mad wee cat. Obviously they're fast.
A wee cat, mate. It's about that size. It's like a spider.
A gazelle is a wild thing, mate. A gazelle is
Good things.
rapido.
Mate, Bambi turns into Bam and he like rules the forest at the end. Avenges his deed more on that.
Jeez, man. R.I.P. R.I.P. man. Shout out to Bambi.
And he's more.
And he's more.
Violence towards the Amazonian tribes has a long history, and not simply from the Spanish conquistadors. In the early 20th century, the rubber industry took over huge swathes of the Amazon basin.
The rubber industry?
They turned some tribes
big money to be made in rubber, bro.
Is it like the big rubbers, the pink
Rubber.
ones in school?
I just erase
For
those.
big mistakes.
Aye, Maple
And they used to go, that's for you. They used to always do that. It's like,
They teachers that all grew up to be serial killers, man.
Indigenous Indians.
Mate, have you seen the mad wee guy on TikTok that like calls his teachers by his their first name?
Aye, and if you're hated, up
He's
here.
like, what's up, George? And he's like, are you crazy?
Massacres, mate. Massacres.
So this is a new.
This is a different tribe.
Is it the same side? Is it the same
It's like
island
same
or
area,
something?
aye.
Oh, that thing that's big on Wales or something.
Aye, big at North Ireland.
This huge forest reserve that stretches over 30,000 square miles is home to the majority of the last uncontacted people on the planet. Entry from outside is prohibited. The Sapanawa Indians who emerged in Brazil came out on its northern boundary. Hundreds of miles to the south in Peru, just months later, another isolated tribe has been causing chaos.
Mate, do you know there's stories about like see Japanese soldiers when they were fighting Korea, whatever that war was. Like there's soldiers that get lost in the woods there, and then they're still fighting the same war when they're like 40 and that, and they were like 18 when it's finished.
Oh my god, man!
You know what I mean, like because they're just out, and that's what their mind is now.
Aye,
you know
like it's just turned into that.
Mate, I think I seen a thing that a psychiatrist was saying, if you want to make somebody go insane, put them in an empty room for like however long. If you want to make somebody go actual mad, jam them in a desert island.
Por ahí es lo que vienen los no contactados por esta playa, todo este playa en verano, por aquí. Aquí lo que nosotros damos plátano aquí bajo el lado.
Over 100 of these legendary nomadic warriors appeared on the far side of the river in a huge display of...
Look at these cunts invading, mate.
After ransacking the empty town...
Look, all their hair's the exact same, mate. Every bit.
They look like a country band or something.
The Beatles or something.
Or if they will return.
Mate, I have pure solid biceps and that and all.
Mate,
The inhabitants of Monte Salvado feel helpless and terrified.
Todas las ollas, los servicios, no hay nada. Próximamente han llevado las ollas, todos han llevado.
They are not allowed by law to defend themselves. They must retreat. But after the recent appearance of the Mashco Piro, the villagers say they refuse to run away again.
Y ahora lo que nosotros tenemos que estar siempre a la expectativa, y como yo digo, para mí es bueno, si ellos no nos quieren responder, nosotros veremos la forma como defender.
Scrap bit of bad tribe, mate.
Madness, innit?
No dejarle ingresar. Bueno, si ellos continúan,
bad idea, man.
Haremos nosotros también.
Ernesto, one of the leaders in Monte Salvado, crosses the river into their territory to check that the Mashco have really left the area.
Parece que ellos con el sonido de tierra escuchan, saben.
Jungle traps, man.
I like know when he's
the
running
worst
through a
kind of
cave and
traps.
there's mad traps, like big rolling balls coming down there. Snakes released for hanging in the river. That's when he
Get away from me.
stands on a big ancient button.
See, really, how? I mean, if that was real, right, that guy would have been dead 10 minutes into it.
Mean little is known about
The big ancient button about that size, you need to stand on it.
Just because, and it's pure badly, the rock pure moves, like you can tell somebody's under it, pure twisting it and
But
that.
then it does something pure sci-fi.
Aye,
It's got pure power.
You're like, whoa. Snakes versus aliens, man, what a movie.
Snakes in a plane.
Ambos tenemos miedo, no solo nosotros.
Watch this bit's insane, man. So like they go.
Dancing in a daddy.
Fast as fuck, will when the sky is cupping and a play for How good is that?
My favourite is Mad O'Reilly, la 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 la.
I know, mate, the fucking Green Brigade now owe him some money.
What's his fucking name?
What's his fucking name? Mate, see,
I'm gonna tell you. Wouldn't I like to know
it's
that?
so... it's I feel like it's a pure temptation. It's pure. Would you like to know? La 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 la. You're hypnotic, man. Metal riding. La 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 la. I can feel myself. I feel bad in me.
I'm at state.
La 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 la.
Mad spirals and
mate, oh my god, I can feel them in my brain. Mate, so that tribe that's been like fighting with that village, they're going to on the boat to try and make contact with them for the first time. Like they've never ever had contact with these people,
just kind of
and just to try and like come to a common, like just end it, like we're peaceful people and like whatever, right? So this is the guy in the boat here.
Rommel worries that since losing their bows and arrows, the Mashko have been reduced to hunting with stones. Before the killing, there were 30 Mashko in the group. Recently, the team has seen only 5. Just as they are preparing to leave the post, 3 Mashko Piro appear on the other side of the river.
Here, teacher. Oh.
Eso que le ha herido el oso.
¿Que no tiene?
No lo veo en la foto, pero creo que...
Allá dice está Yumaco. No quiere. Toma cambio tarde, pues, Tara. Ahí no, que lo tenga, osa.
It's a heavy setup, bro.
Actually saying, you know what I say.
That's a mad Red Dead interaction.
You know what I say, mate.
At the side of a river.
Partner, I wonder if you could help me with...
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Nos vamos al frente?
Desde ahí, ¿no?
Go ahead, mate.
De ese peñito.
Ahí nos pueden tirar piedra.
¿Por qué?
Por no acercarnos, tiran piedra.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Así es.
No, mira, aquí está señalando.
The law states they shouldn't cross the river to make direct contact. But Rommel sees an opportunity to win trust and calm the situation.
Quiero saber cómo están, ¿no? Tenemos que ir a esto así, que no entre, para decirle cómo está, dónde están otros. Sí.
¿Qué hacemos?
Nosotros nos vamos. Yo, tú y Reinaldo.
The team know that these first moments of contact are the most dangerous.
First ever contact, so this could definitely... Look, think about, they could be in the trees waiting on them and shit.
Mate, was that called guerrilla warfare or something? Or how like, I think in the Vietnam War there was like, a lot less Vietnamese people, so they had to use tactics.
Aye. Mad guerrilla warfare tactics, aye.
Modern warfare.
Modern warfare too.
Ghillie suit in it.
They have no idea if the rest of the group are just behind the tree line.
Mate, how slow would that be walking these stones, man?
I know.
Aye, that's how they cut the hair.
What's happening? She's got her chest paws out.
Chest paws. They look fucked.
Is that just moobs?
No, it's not. It's a woman.
The little boy tells Rommel there is another injured woman behind the trees.
It's a pure lie, innit?
Providing modern medicine to uncontacted people breaks every rule in the Anthropological book, potentially creating a dependence on the outside world.
Like giving them medical attention like because they don't know how to.
Body's no used to it.
No used to any modern medicine or that, so it could just kill them.
Mate, there's like defects in paracetamol and that can kill people if they're heavy no well. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, I get. Aye, like shit like that. Well, aye.
Some salt water or something.
I think they were just bandaging it up, but.
What's it Billy called? I think wire brush and Dell. Wire brush and Dell fixes everything.
En el doctor, ¿no? En la persona, un poco de confianza en los métodos que nosotros tenemos, saben que les podemos ayudar.
Is it COVID vaccine?
Rommel had previously left a gift of bananas hidden on the beach.
También es importante, ¿no? Conocen otra gente, tienen otro tipo de confianza. Saben que ahora ya van a estar aprendiendo que el doctor viene para ayudar, ¿no? Que solo quiere curarles.
So that's like a job there, like being a medic for them, or like, do you know what I mean? Like,
could be in a certain.
Just a charity kind of
could
thing.
Be in like a certain area, mate. It's just like that's what.
It's like
your job for the state is to go
and make sure these people don't die.
I don't know, mate. I mean,
but they've got one thing, but
look, they all start like getting on and shit, mate.
Getting on it,
aye.
It seems a deep fear of the outside world has kept these peoples isolated for so long, and that fear is coming to an end. Equally, the reality of their existence ends our romantic dreams of noble savages still living in the Garden of Eden.
That's a great sentence, isn't it? That's a great sentence.
Mad, innit? They're saying to them come back and all that. Crazy, mate. But it's like, it's so mad because it just shows you, like, see when they did get in contact with both of them, it's like their mad human instincts were just like kicking in. Like, and it's obviously because they're getting moved further and further out of the jungle and there's people poachers coming in. It's like, it's just the modern world. But it's mad because some of these tribes have been about for like tens of thousands of years.
Aye. Well, see, when I think about stuff like this, I think about like back in the day when it was like colonisers, so they would be wanting to take parts of places. See, even like as far back as like America, where like the indigenous people of America, like obviously that's not an uncontacted tribe. But it's like geese is the same kind of thing about like we've no business, but like, do you know what I mean?
I get you.
Have no business like going in and going here, see all this shit, this is all daft, like there's a big other thing out here.
I know, just like living their way. I know.
And it's like, and like they might not have like, they've not got like anxiety in that, mate. They're getting like feedback for the universe. They're doing mad. Like I always think here, like, see when you work, you should be getting like a instant feedback for it. But like here you work, right? And then like 3 weeks later or 28 days later you get paid for it and it's pure once removed. You're not getting that instant, you're like, I'm doing this for nothing kind of thing. Whereas if you were an uncontacted tribe or an indigenous peoples, you would like, your task would be to hunt and it would be like, right, I've got my food, and you get that feedback, or it would be like, I'm cold and you'd light a fire. And
I think that helps them probably. Now you're saying they don't have anxiety in that. It's probably because they're so in the current moment. Like they're like, I'm hungry, I need to eat, I need to hunt. Then they go on a hunt and they do it, and they're like, yeah, I've got food for the night. Go back home, cook the food, sleep, back up, and just the same thing. But there's no concept of anything else for them really.
And like a weird way, it's like they're like, things they need as a human is like, say they need heated, they would like have to make a fire which is pure of earth, but here we just got that with buttons. And you're pure removed for like the
how mad that
task of trying to heat yourself up. Do you know what I mean? Like in your own brain. So that's why I think like, I don't know if
are we too disconnected, do you think?
I think so, mate. I think like I've pure always wanted to like go out and just see if I could just survive. See when it's quite
I don't think you could, bro. Mate, I've got to be like, I don't think you could.
But like, see if like just pure in at the deep end, like no going camping or that, like just going with nothing, and like
I live out here now.
Imagine like you came back, your head would be pure clear because you'd be like, I've just done that mad thing. You know what I mean?
I think I would hate that. I don't. I get what you're saying, but I think like actually like It's fucking it's raining and all that. I'm like, what is going on? Why am I fucking dating this?
But again,
that is a total insane move, actually. But I get you. I get where you're coming from.
Like, I don't know, mate. I think it's like being that close to like what you need in that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from a place of like, I don't know. No.
Sorry,
let's show you this TikTok.
Aye, show us the TikTok because I've got to talk about another tribe, the Jarawa tribe, mate, right, which is major.
Joseph mentioned this earlier on, so. Mate, they always look stylish, man.
Aye.
Guy's bougie.
Is that like a stick through his nose?
Aye. It's like Lil Uzi Vert's got that, hasn't he?
I think that's probably where he took it from. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Scared to touch him in that?
Imagine having to process that in your brain, mate.
Insanity.
But like, imagine like, mate, like that picture, he's like accepted it.
Show me it.
Like they're shaking hands.
Like he's like,
it's a mad like aye.
That's a real.
But like, we couldn't even make that's like, it's no meant to be derogatory to like indigenous people or like uncontacted tribes. But
there's
like,
none of them watching it, don't worry.
But like.
Jamie's trying to be safe for the tribes.
Because they've no got laptops, that.
No, I don't know, mate. Not on mine.
It's like kind of comparable to like if we met like aliens, like a mad other like
mate,
higher.
That is exactly the thought. But them coming out,
aye,
mate. That do you know? That's the exact thought I had about this. Like that, the moment they walked out about the out of the jungle, like I think that must like that's the exact same thing we're gonna feel with aliens, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
Like we're going to be like, oh, like we thought it was just like me in Amsterdam living in the red light district. Then on the last day, I got out the red light district and was like, there's more to this city. Like what? I thought that was it. I thought that was everything that was happening. And I was like, what the fuck? Walking back to the station, looking a bit like I've fucking ruined this, mate. But
me and Morgan are going this summer. I think.
Got it, damn. Nice.
Damn, bro.
Nice.
But I mate, like that's what it would be like because it's like. Them seeing these mad people that just looks like that like scaled up to us.
It is, like, it would be like something we couldn't even like understand. I know.
But do you know what's mad about it, mate?
Like,
mate, do you know what's mad about it?
Aye.
Do you know what's mad about it, right? See, like an uncontacted tribe having contact for the first time, that's more mad than the thought of us meeting aliens, I think. Because Earth's so populated and that, and you just feel like that's impossible and it's so small, kinda.
What you think? You think it's madder that
they've not been like touched than aliens, kinda. Just it's comparable.
But they know we're on Earth.
It's just the kind of
poachers and all that.
You know what I mean?
What? But you think that first contact, like ever, like that video you just showed me? Aye. That is. I think it's the exact same experience. It must be in a way. Like you're seeing something that's no even fathomable in your brain. Do you know what I mean?
Like you've never learnt that. Like you've never been. It's never been your instinct to that.
It's like us with planets. It's like you know it's out there, but you just know you could never go there.
Mate,
but they just know that it's like they can't get to the other side of the trees or something.
Mate, do you know what it's kind of like? This sounds weird, right? See, have you ever seen Courage the Cowardly Dog?
No,
that that cartoon, it was pure creepy. It was on Cartoon Network, and it was like a dog, and I had an old granda with a cane in it. You never seen that?
Oh, aye.
Mate, see when the dog goes outside, see, because it's like it's meant to mean that he's kept indoors and that, and it's like treating it bad. When he goes outside, everything's all wild, like. It's a bit. It looks like the house is floating in space and like.
I remember this. I think.
And it's like that must be like for if you kept the dog in the house all the time and treated it badly. When it gets out, it'd be overwhelmingly. Like,
and that's why it's so hyped up, like pure. It would be like because you're deprived it.
It was quite cowardly.
Aye, it does what it says in the tin. But we better go and talk about the Jarawa tribe, mate, because honestly, the Jarawa tribe are pretty insane, mate. So. A bit of background, right? The Jarawa tribe, we're going to watch a bit of a video on them, but they're uncontacted people, but this time it's different for the first one because that was in South America. This tribe are on the Andaman Islands in India.
Right.
So like southern India, there's these islands. and they live on the south and the middle of the island. That's their territory, right?
What is that like? Just Shetlands for here? To India, where they live.
Aye.
I know what I mean.
Aye. Like the distance
is so.
If you had to
what I mean.
If you had to replace Scotland, wait, Joe's just shaking his head. Right?
India obviously is massive, so it's like it's not like that. You could walk.
I know what you mean.
Coast, man,
Aye.
if you're in Scotland.
I know. I know what you mean. Like I know what you mean. But anyway, their islands. Their islands.
Are close to each other.
They're in India, mate. They're in India. And so they've lived there in this territory for like 55,000 years, mate. They're believed to be like these people here, right, that we're about to see are believed to be like some of the first human beings to descend from Africa and like migrate to other parts. So obviously we all come from Africa.
Aye, that's the same as the indigenous people of Australia. I know it must have been the same because
must have been the same like breakaway. Aye.
You know how the Native Americans got there?
Like mate, it was because I was walking for China or something. Mate,
I've heard about this.
It was like in the ice age that was all iced up,
and they had to walk here,
and then it melted, so they were stuck in America.
Mate, they got a taxi when they fed him.
Then nobody else ever went. That's how
they just get they got a one-way ticket, mate.
A one-way ticket to America. A lot of people would bite your hand off. The start of the American dream. One-way ticket to America.
See the reason.
That's a song. That's a hit, mate.
See all the different tribes in America. The reason they didn't ever like see each other is because there was no horses or anything in America. There was no like mad animal. Like every other like continent had something like that, like horses or camels,
kangaroos,
and
elephants or something.
They can get places, but they couldn't.
Camels is our main one for like Central Africa and stuff.
Aye. But the Jarawa tribe, right? So they've lived there for like 50. It says in the video, uncontacted for 55,000 years, right? I believe. So their lifestyle, right? The way they live, they knew is no change much for the Stone Age, mate. They still live basically the exact same way, right? So to put into perspective, right, how long, because like 55,000 years just seems like you can't.
How many cine worlds is it?
How many cine worlds back is that, bro? That is uncalculable. They've lived on Earth tens of thousands of years before the Egyptians built the pyramids. So like that actually puts it into your head, like think how long ago we think of the Egyptians, right?
Aye.
They've been living like this on Earth, like back, like way further back than when that happened, which is insanity, mate. But now obviously there's only like 400 left, right? So they'll obviously like fucking dying off, and this is why like documentaries and that have been made about them, because like they're trying to preserve them, because obviously due to modern threats they're getting like forced to like get further and further into like integrating into society. Like there's more and more contact since like I think it was like the 70s maybe. They've been in like slow contact with the rest of Earth getting pushed out and shit. But it's mad, mate. Like because what happened with them is, right, there was a road. So like they weren't contactable, right, because there was no like road to get in and out of, like where they live, right?
On
and
the
then
island.
And then they've built a road to connect like the island. So like they put a road at the South Andaman Islands to connect all the wee towns there to the main capital of Port Blair, right? So when they built that road, what happened was people used to run tourist buses and like stop and pure exploit them, like pure like stop, like they would take buses of tourists that wanted to see a fucking uncontacted tribe, human safari, that's what they call it, right? So they would take tourist buses and they would like stop at their bit and like they would come out and be like, what the fuck's this? And people would be taking pictures of them and that
with big DSLR cameras.
Aye, mate, like all these tourists on these buses, and it was mad. Like they were posting the clips out on YouTube, and like some of the tourists and the drivers were like forcing them to dance and all that, and like throwing bananas at them and all that. It was heavy, like degrading. So what happened was, see, like the national outrage of that, like all the videos, the Indian government made it like against the law to like take pictures of them and like exploit them and do things. But it's like people are just, because the police and that there can make money off it, like they're turned into a tourist attraction for that island.
Like so they can like gatekeep it. Be like,
so they can just be like the police that are running like where that is.
Area.
They can just be like, right, well, we'll let you do it, but we need like a cut, and like it's just a mad
asking for their ID.
It's what Lee Sutherland would call corrupt to the core, mate. It's majorly corrupt to the core, but
deep corruption and lies.
It's insane. Like see how like when people like see the word Jarawa, right? It translates into hostile. Right. So these people have had like a reputation for thousands of years as being these mad vicious killers, right? And see like Marco Polo, the mad
went for Italy to China.
Aye. So he was like going to run Asia for like years, like 20 odd year, right? And he seen the Jarawa people and described them as having the heads of dogs. That's how he described them, right? But you're about to see that's not accurate at all, right? It's mad. Like I find this might be madder than the first one, because just look at their eyes and their skin and that, and look how different and like clean, like they all look pure. It's weird, mate. Like they look as if they have this glow about them that we don't have. Like we just look like, see, like if you look at their eyes, like I think we look like we've had the life sucked out of us compared to them, because they're just living a pure life.
And they're like in touch with,
mate, like
touch with the land, in touch with their reality, their own reality in their head. So it's like they're just serene, mate.
There's no, exactly, mate. So. The language, mate.
That sounds nicer.
The absence of contact with the outside world has
had its impact. Mate,
you know what I mean?
Their way of life has remained completely unaltered since the Stone Age. The way they hunt, prepare food, and live depends entirely on nature, and is one of many aspects about the tribe that makes them unique.
Got a silly game.
Class goes green and white. Probably.
So aye.
Look, the guy's greeting about the flowers. He's saying you need everything you need is here. Like, why would we ever want to go anywhere else?
Ah, it's nice, isn't it?
Unaffected by technology or any other influences of modern civilization, you might expect there is a large social divide between the norms of the tribe and outsiders. But once you take a glimpse at the way they see the world, you remember there are parts of our human nature that connect us all.
Mate, I think they're more human than us. Like... Yeah, it's just he's saying things that just that guy feel like Easter house or something. He's saying, She's a good woman, Shirley. Let's get it away.
I know it's mad, isn't it?
When you see things like this, you think like when cunts say uncivilized and that.
Like I know.
Tank they were people portrayed as like
savages
and stuff
I know.
like for ages.
Made contact with the outside world inevitable. The outsiders are no longer a mystery for the Jarawa, as numerous interactions have occurred during the last decades. It has had its effect. Jarawa lifestyle has been changed forever. They wear clothes, utilize scissors, and use
that's how they cut their hair.
No doubts about this one, bro.
Made from beeswax.
They answered the question for the last one.
A reliable solution.
Alex, listen to us. Dog. Cocker spaniels, not
They seem a bit more peaceful than the other ones, don't they?
Mate.
But every change or action.
This is what kind of tribe I want to be in.
Most of their modern devices were given to them by poachers.
This is the cult. Like it'll be roughly like this.
Land of the Jarawas.
It'll be along these lines.
It'll be based on.
It'll be based on the work of the Jarawa tribe.
Livelihood of the Jarawas.
That'll look cod or something.
Has caused a food scarcity
So they've went and, like poachers are.
Has forced them to change
there's
their
a Bambi
traditional
there.
food collection customs. They have been forced to hunt deer, which they have never done before. It is a difficult choice,
Do you know what I always find interesting when you watch things about tribes and that? How unbothered they are with like dead things. Just like, see the way, like, see if there was a dead animal in front of us, we would all be like, what the fuck? Like wincing. But they're like, but it's obviously just, they've just lived like that. It's like, it's mad. It's just, I find it so interesting seeing the difference in like their mentality than us.
And the tribe's women still refuse to eat it, relying solely on fish. Lack of food security is not the only consequence of interactions with poachers.
That's your word? Is that what you meant by influence there?
No, I said that's your word.
Oh, sorry, I've already said that's your word.
And willing to use them against the Jarawas, poachers refused to listen. What they didn't take into account was the original reputation of this warrior tribe.
Mate, it never ends well, mate. It just never ends well. See,
that was so peaceful, mate. I feel like it went so peaceful to so like...
we killed 10. That's what I'm saying. They're so like...
I was just thinking it's mad to use their fingers to count, you know what I mean? Obviously they do though, but I wonder if they still go like... I wonder how high they can count.
I don't know if this is true, but on Carol Pilkington was saying once there's like a tribe that only use 1, 2 and 3. So if they want like 4 things, they go 2, 2, 2. And if they want like...
they don't have a concept of there being higher numbers than that. I mean, I've seen that. I've seen that. Like, they don't have... It's like they can only count up to a certain number, then they can't go past it.
Kind of thing.
Aye, because like, oh no, there's 2 2s of them.
Aye, they're not doing like flight numbers.
Just a different, as we were talking about on one of the episodes, mate. It's like Pisano, the number 5, the number 1, the number...
Universal language.
Just a different way of doing things.
We only go up to 10, if you think about it.
In reality, mate.
That's called like decimalisation.
Like the only numbers there are is up to 10.
Aye, because it's multiples of 10.
There's 10. No other number apart from 10.
Aye, because there's like 10, and then there's like 4 10s is 40. It's like a multiple
10
4 10.
What about like 3? Just we need 10.
Up to 10. Like, there's nothing after 10.
There's nothing.
Like on a phone or something.
If you had to write down every number, it's only up to 10.
I like. There's no difference. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I mean, how is 13 10? Because it's got 10 in it.
We have 3
But it's also like
it's written like a 10. We have 3 then.
He's just meaning like the characters.
Like about 23.
But that's 2 and 3.
No, it's not.
No, that's like 10.
It's not 2 plus 3. It's written down. It's a 2 and then
the
a 3.
way you know how
there's
to move
like
on.
2 10s.
Then you move on to the next one after 10. It's like after 10, right? For 20, it's got 10 of them. Then after that, it's on to 3. It's like you're just going up to 10,
it's
but you're saying this is 3 10 and 4 10.
Aye, that's what I'm saying.
So
2
basically
10s.
that the 2 thing that they were doing is the same.
Aye, it is, but it's weird. Ours is just slightly higher.
If you think about it, all it is just noises that we've just learned to make with our mouse. At the end of the day, nothing really means anything. So we should all just die.
Oh.
Aye.
Chill out.
What they didn't take into account was the original reputation of this warrior tribe. Sadly, even without the threat of poachers, modernity would have reached the Jarawas in other ways. The lush forests that the Jarawa live in are a protected territory with no entrance allowed. Yet, there's an exception. Back in the 1970s, a road was constructed. It was supposed to be an arterial road, connecting smaller towns with the capital city of Andaman to facilitate the distribution of goods. But it started being misused fast. Even though the traffic on this road is organized in a military convoy to prevent anyone from getting out of their cars, it has not been able to scare away curious adventurers. Alongside the trespassing vehicles, tourist buses came along. Driving down this road gave tourists a chance to see the tribe with their own eyes.
I know.
Even though it's strictly forbidden to take pictures while on this road, people still have managed to photograph and film the Jarawas. Repulsive videos have appeared on the internet. Some of them were filmed by
TikTok
tourists,
dancing and all that. How's that
some
repulsive?
by corrupt policemen.
Charlie
This has sparked international outrage. The exploitation of indigenous people who have been reduced to a commercial object is deservedly called human safari or human zoo.
That's horrible, that shit.
Historically, human zoos were public exhibitions of live humans, usually non-Europeans, who were tricked into doing so or taken by force.
This shit was happening like no that long ago, mate.
This practice took place in Europe and ran until the late 50s.
What the fuck, actual? Videos in it?
The case of the Jarawa people definitely seems like a modern form of this inhumane phenomenon. The international outrage forced Indian authorities to introduce several measures to stop this kind of disgraceful behavior. But, as we can see from this comment on TripAdvisor, the human safari activities seem not to have stopped. If the contact remains as it is, Jarawas will either go extinct or they will be forced to assimilate into society. The idea of assimilation does not sound deadly, but in reality, it would look grim. The forests they now inhabit would no longer be protected without the Jarawas living there. This would allow developers to buy these lands and log the forests down. The Jarawas would find themselves in Port Blair, the capital of Andamans, uneducated.
It's all a bit like Pure West and shit. Like, oh, they have no dough.
I know, but that's what it's saying. It's like, no, but like it's saying if they get forced out the jungle, then the reality is they'll end up in this capital city. They don't know how to read. They don't know like anything. They don't know anything.
Like,
so they would just be pure in danger.
You were saying like one of the hardest things you ever did was like going to Vietnam and just teaching a class. Imagine like
I know
that's
not
of that.
Go and live in a civilization you have no idea about.
And close down the road which crosses their land. You can find the link to sign this petition in the description box below.
So people are trying to like save them and shit.
Good teeth.
Mate, this is what they've all get pure good teeth, mate. Pure perfectly straight teeth.
Aye.
We are pure corrupt, mate.
No fluoride, but what of that?
It's because people's mouths are shrinking into it. That's the reason.
People's
mouths are shrinking, they can't fit all the teeth in. Over like all European
like
people, our mouths
teeth in that?
because we don't eat big things, our mouths are shrinking over, it's like evolving.
Aye. Aye, that's how people don't get born with wisdom teeth and that. I've got them, have you got them?
So how far back, like what, so you're saying back in the day, wisdom teeth just fit, it wasn't a pain thing, it was just a normal part of
the... Like, obviously,
that's
if people
like
have teeth and they grow in for you,
aye.
like, I think it's, what they're saying is it's because your mouth, people's mouths are shrinking, but obviously the bones are still the same amount. So they're trying to come through.
Ah,
and
right.
They're all coming in all
the size of the whole, it's probably the size of the whole head, isn't it?
Aye. Because
no, in fact, our heads
your actual brain's getting bigger. So.
Aye, our head's not getting bigger, bodies are getting smaller.
Everybody's getting specky and that.
We don't pure
mate,
fun with our moves anymore, probably.
Don't they shout pure loud because we get phones and that?
I think like we are pure like losing. Like an example of this, right? I find that like I was never pure great at maths, right? But see when you're in school doing maths constantly, you can quickly like do like, oh fucking this times this is like this, and like just quickly. See now, I feel like see like dividing mad numbers and that, I'm like fuck knows calculator. Like see because you've got something there that just kills the whole graft of figuring that out. Mm-hmm. You're just like your brain loses that. It's like learning. It's like going somewhere and learning a language, and then you get back. And you're like, you don't do the language for ages, and then you kind of just forget how to do it because it's not been a mad constant thing in your life.
Because you're not being like reminded in it. Hangway, I forget who it is, but a mad like psychologist, philosopher kind of person says like, see like we think your unconscious mind is if you're asleep or if you're like knocked out or whatever. He says it's like when you're doing the mad mundane tasks every day. Let's see when you're going. Happening, I get a paper, I can that. Like when your brain's not engaged in it, that's your like, unconscious mind.
Just like autopilot almost. Aye. Mate, I find that like do you ever get that when you're driving? Like I used to get that with work, right?
Mate.
I used to like you drive to work and then suddenly you're just near there and you're like, I can't remember one bit of that journey.
Mate, I listen to podcasts sometimes and then I get to like work or whatever and it's like podcast 30 minutes in and I'm like, what that I need to listen to that again, mate. And when I'm listening back I don't even remember it, mate, because it was like I just wasn't on, mate. I wasn't like switched on. Do you know what I mean?
I know, mate. It's weird.
Which is a bad thing about like, again, what we're saying, like, because we've got these mad kind of human needs, we've not got that kind of, no, because we've got like your human needs aren't being, I'm trying to say,
like your brain isn't being forced to like be in use kind of thing. Like it's no, you're not having to like
your mad synapses on the clicking and that, so you're not like tapped into like where you're because
just like directional. You're not like thinking about anything else.
You're not having to problem solve. Kind of thing, innit?
I know. I wanted to get a special shout out to the Indigenous peoples of Australia, mate. A special shout out to the boys.
Hope you're listening.
No, but obviously, right, this is different because it's like, this is a colonised people, is what I was trying to say earlier. Like, this isn't like people that have got lost or forgotten. This is people that had their way of living and it get taken out and forced to change. Do you know how in these it's like, oh, we'll help them, but we don't want them to have to assimilate into our thing and that. Like,
I just protect them.
Mate, a few hundred years ago, like in America, mate, Australia, like Indigenous peoples are everywhere are just getting slaughtered and that, mate. Like, it's fucking horrible. Like,
willy-nilly.
So like that's what's kind of different about that. But see, when that happens, right, the new colonisers try and like erase shit. Like even in Britain, paganism and that, it's all like burnt books because they said women were witches and all that. Mad knowledge, mate. It's like, we are right, the Catholic Church is right, this is this and that, know what I mean? And in Australia, mate, like,
that was the Romans that came. The Romans came out here and stopped all the pagan shit.
Exactly. And like, so that was happening back then, right? And it was pure like fucking with people's like actual full integrity, like your full like reason for living, mate. Because it's no like see when you live in a country like Britain or Scotland, right? You're like no connected to it at all. You might go, I fucking love Scotland, but you're no like, see, because like you can't change anything politically, and you're so disconnected for like the actual thing. But in like tribal nature and like Indigenous peoples, they were like, they're all connected to each other, all connected to the land and that. And do you remember like that that thing I told you about the mad creation story? And then like how they can pure navigate where they're going and stuff.
It's mad, mate.
It's just
very wild
because it get lost, mate, but it's because we went in and done, these people are like savages, like we'll teach them how to be like us, and obviously just force them all
like imposing like our way of living onto them.
And for ages everybody just thought that they were savages, right? But it's came out now that like they had like agriculture, like they had, but it's pure hard to naturally farm in Australia because how like dusty it is and that, but they had like worked out a way to treat the land with that much respect that it would grow turnips. Like, I think is that what yams are? Turnips?
Yams are like, I thought yams were like a sort of potato.
Aye, maybe. So they were able to grow that in this mad like unfarmable land, and they used to do controlled fires to like burn down trees for the carbon in the trees to help them start like rows of like crops and that, mate, which is like
pure advanced shit, man.
Mate, that was like how we like stopped, that's how we advanced like the agricultural revolution, and they had that, but they were just like, I don't know.
Did anyone want to push beyond that? They were just like, right, we know how to harvest these crops and that
like,
now.
We're in touch with everything, and like when the colonisers went in, they were like, oh, you can't even farm here, fuck knows what this is, just build all these houses, we'll mine for gold, that's how we'll trade and that. And it was like pure forgotten about, like the way to treat where you come from, do you know what I mean? Like
that mad respect for the land.
I mentioned that Ed Stafford guy who's like a survivalist who like does like walks the Amazon in like 60 days and all that, like mad, just gets trapped in a desert island and that. And he was talking about the Aboriginals and saying the Aboriginal people of Australia, and he was saying like they've got 3 words, they've got 3 different brains, right? The first one's your heart, which you follow first. Second one's your gut, which you follow. And then the third one's your actual brain, which is for pure acute problem solving. Shouldn't they be relied on for everything?
Aye.
And it's the name for that brain is the same word they use for a tangled fishing net. Like, just, do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You shouldn't rely on mad rational shit all the time.
Aye,
do you know what I mean?
I get you.
So,
that is a good way of like explaining it and all. A tangled fishing
like,
net.
it's just the same word. It'd be like, use that brain, detangle that brain. You know what I mean? Like,
aye, that's crazy. So it's the same word.
Aye, in their language, the exact same word.
Fucking hell. But it is insane. Like all these mad fucking. It's so mad because you're like literally watching the shit we just watched and talking about them and that. You're literally getting like a real visual hang into how we all used to live, like all our ancestors and that. But these people have actually remained.
But mate, this is another thing I've been wanting to say, mate. Sorry. So the Aboriginal cultures can be traced back to like 60,000 years ago, which is mad. That was 55,000 years ago. So they've had the same beliefs passed up to them, the same faith. Their like religion, their version of religion, which is, again, I keep saying it, but like the land and that's where they worship the sun, their land. And that's been passed on for 60,000 years. So imagine how strong that is in like the people, the new, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
They still live like that in comparison to like Christianity was made up 2,000 years ago.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
I know, like there's just a total disconnect now for like, we're so obsessed with like there's been something out there, like something else that we don't know, higher power and that, but they're like, no, this is the higher power, this land, the sun, everything that you can see, mate, is the like magical.
Buddhist, mate, in a way.
Aye,
it's like
the present, what's happening now is the most beautiful thing. Like, it's no like.
And overindulgence is like not a sin, but like
it's
not going to like ultimately make you happy.
Aye,
like
greed and like these. Whereas like in our society, it's like you're like trained, like you're actually almost programmed to be greedy. Like it's just the system we're in. It's like you're just like, nah, because you need to work harder because you need to get all these things, and like that car, right, that's a good car, but
a grind set, mate.
Aye, that's that grind set, brother. Talk to me about it later. DM us after the show, yeah. But no, it's like that whole mindset of like, you need to work hard and get these things, and then you need to work harder once you've got these things because you need to get these better things. Because this one, I mean, I know your motors get these seats in it, but these have got these seats in it, and you're just like.
And this is what I was saying the other day. Everything's either ages away, time wise, or like everything's just so once removed in that. Like it's just like the money that you get, which is the pure best thing ever, goes into a bank account, which you go and take out a mad machine and all that. Like nothing's like pure. Do you know what I mean?
I know, like you're not getting that instant. Like we're so detached from everything that we're doing almost. Because of the way our society's been set up. Like that way you're talking about. So you go to a day's work, you get up fucking early, go in, blah blah blah, finish your shift, go home, and then you're like, fuck, I need to go back and do that again tomorrow. And you need to do that for like 28 days in a row before you see the reward that you want out of it.
Like the universal benefit, like the feedback.
Like what is like the reason that you're internally doing this? Because it's just like that video you sent me the other night of that mad, what's his name, Baron something?
Is it American Baron or something?
That guy that makes the wee short movies and that is like, that one is, he's like saying to them like, it's obviously the alien, and he's saying to him like, so humans work for happiness, and he's like, no, they work for money, and he's like, but money gives you happiness, and he's like, doesn't give you happiness, it just stops you being unhappy.
It gets you a ticket out of unhappiness, as if you still need to work for
there's no like, you've got a ticket to get there, but you need to like,
mate, again, just like once removed, you've no control of it, mate. That's what I was saying about, I don't want to be pure political or anything, you know what I mean, but like, so I'm saying like you're once removed for changes in your life in a way. Obviously you can change things on a personal level, but like if you were in a, mate, there's another thing as well, like seeing like communism, kind of new like neo-communism, like new ones of like mad studies about like how like primates only have like communities of 100 of them, and then if that goes there by one, they kick a cunt out or they kill one of them or something, because it's innately no manageable to have more than 100 people contributing to their life.
One
fuck your head up.
Because it's like then that's when like greed starts coming in. That's when all these mad corrupt thoughts start coming in. Lee Sutherland might come in and have to deal with it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Bite your face off.
And bite your face off, man. Honestly, but what a guy.
Aye, mate. Indigenous peoples,
mate. Pretty fucking wild.
The people watching this are the Indigenous peoples at the Patreon.
The Indigenous peoples of Riley's Gaff. Is it that camera? The Indigenous people of Riley's Gaff. That's what we can call this. Mm-hmm. Can we get names on Patreon?
Aye, we could just call the Patreon that.
The Indigenous people. Episode? Oh my god! Aye, this episode
is called. But they even like name the episodes on Patreon.
Aye.
We'll figure it out. But you're here for the journey, folks. You're here for it. We don't even know what we're doing yet. No. But you're witnessing it.
Are we going to start this podcast then?
Aye, so let's get started, guys.
These ones are 7 hours long.
7 hours, so keep a day spare. Take a day off your work or something.
See if you don't take a day, mate. Do they get enough days in the year to take a day off every month for one of these?
Some people do.
Aye.
I've heard mate, what's the highest amount of, see, like in a job, right? Mm-hmm. What's the highest amount of holidays you've ever heard about a company giving you?
35 or something.
36, 35, aye.
36 days, no including Christmas.
No. Guys in my work up, your holidays are shite in here and that. I'm like, how? We get like 28 days and then for every 5 years, every 4 years or something, you're there, you get an extra day or something like that. 1 day for 4 years. What a deal.
Mate, that's another thing that's pure, as if we're out of control when we can stay off work.
Mate, the way
another day in 5 years.
Do you know what I actually kind of think, coming to a mad conclusion of all this, watching this and that? The thing with the difference between us and them is we're locked into a system that we don't want to be in, really. Mm-hmm. But they're free. They don't. If they want to get up and walk 10 miles, there's nobody going to say, here, what are you doing? No. Mm-hmm. They're free to. And it's the same way, now people talk about, Lee Sutherland was talking about being in the jail, being locked up 24 hours a day. That is kind of what. Think about our day, right? Think about your week even, right? The hours in a week. Think about how many hours in that week that you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. You know what I mean? Aye. Or something that you're forced into doing.
The majority of the time, innit?
I working, doing podcasts.
So, bro, are you saying that society is a prison?
I'm saying, do I feel trapped? Yeah, I fucking do.
But no when you come here.
No when you come up to space.
Free up here, man.
Any chance you cut?
Aye? How?
Do I crack a window open here or something?
Mate, I thought
we're finished.
That was us finishing up.
Oh, I thought we were still
that was just wrap it up.
Jake was just going to go.
I was going to crack a window.
Mate, I've got another few things about Aboriginals, but I'll just leave. That was enough, I think.
No, sorry, keep talking.
I think it'll be good. See if this gets chopped up with all the best bits of us talking about it, and then the video and the visual, and then
mate,
sometimes
it might end up on there.
An hour 48.
So that might end up on our podcast.
Will probably end up on our because the video maybe be half. Maybe I think the visuals for these are going to be mad, mate.
I think we leave this in for the Patreon trips. That wee conversation there.
What about Joe asking for a cut and all that?
Aye.
Joe's asking for a cut of the podcast and all that. He's wanting fucking.
Can I get money on the camera?
50%, man. No, I'm not happy with it.
No.
But
out in your arse.
Troops, the Patreon troops, we can't thank you enough. Genuinely, honestly, you're here at the start of this journey into that camera there. You're here, and we love you.
Camera one.
We fucking love you, mate. You right there.
Mate, I said I want them to sign up.
Who?
Them up there. And they have.
Oh my
cheers,
God.
Man.
Thank you. You've signed up. You done it. You listened to him months ago when he said that. And you got scared, let's be honest, you got scared. But let's go, troops.